One of the most frustrating things about people is the way they will say one show is good because it's realistic and another is bad because it's unrealistic. Then you go and check the so-called realistic show and it will have the most unrealistic fighting you've ever seen, whether it be sword or hand-to-hand. And not to mention they'll have magic systems, which is the furthest from reality you can get. And it's not like most of the time writers put much effort in the physics of the magic system. It's very obvious that they only call shows realistic if they have a grittier and edgier theme, since they have no idea how people are supposed to fight, sword fight, or do anything outside of their field of knowledge. The really frustrating part is the smugness some of them have when doing so, especially because there are in fact two problems. First, most people are wrong about the shows they call realistic. Every show, and I mean every show, has unrealistic fighting. Every single piece of fiction I love has it. Forget the magic, what are these punches? Or the grappling they do. Everything is with bad form, and yet they have a higher effect than the best fighters in the world. Why are they slashing everywhere but their opponent? You know this X-guard thing that happens in every fight? There is actual suicide if you do that in real life. I can go over and over the billions of examples. I have yet to find one show that has actually realistic fighting all the time. Secondly, just because something is unrealistic, it does not mean that it's good or bad. Realism has no intrinsic bearing on the quality of the story. If I just showed you that a show you liked wasn't realistic, does it now suddenly just become trash? That makes no sense. Plus, there are plenty of examples of shows that are good but not realistic. Think about it. Why would the concept of suspending disbelief even exist otherwise? It's not about realism, but rather it's about consistency. This is where some people in the writing community present a new, more advanced framework, believability. While I do think this is better because it encourages consistency, it still is not quite enough to determine quality by itself. Just because something is believable doesn't mean it's good by default. You see, consistency is the fundamental axiom, not realism or believability. Consistency is what ties everything together, because a show can be good even if it's unrealistic or unbelievable, but not if it's inconsistent with its own rules and setups. Realistic shows tend to be better than unrealistic ones, but that's only because reality is more consistent than the fiction lazy or uninterested writers provide. So to make absolute statements in writing is dangerous and often flat out wrong. And when you, with zero combat experience, think that something is realistic when it's not, that's embarrassingly wrong. The most frustrating people are always the ones that are smug and wrong. At any rate, I hope I could get you to at least think about it for a second. I don't assume whether something is realistic or not if it's outside of my areas of knowledge or expertise. So I implore you to do the same and always be careful of absolutes, since all you need is one counterexample to disprove them. Like if you enjoyed this video, be nice in the comments, and thanks for watching.